Hello, mathematicians. Today we are going to be taking a look at expressions. Now, expressions are different than equations because expressions do not have an equal sign. So while we'll solve some of our problems today, we're not going to solve all of them. And we're going to start by looking at word form and changing this into number form. So this problem says 3 times the sum of 26 and 4. And we can tell what two of our operations are right here. Times means multiplication, and sum means addition. So we know we have multiplication and we have addition. So we have to think about what needs to get done first. And so if we want 3 times the sum of 26 and 4, if I was going to draw a picture that showed this here is 26 plus 4, right here. This is 26 plus 4. And I want 3 of those. I want 3 26 plus 4s. So if I want this 26 plus 4 to be done first, I'm going to put it in parentheses. 26 plus 4. That's the sum of 26 plus 4. And now I want 3 times that. So I can put my multiplication in front, or because of the commutative property, I can put it in the back. So that's how we would write an expression for 3 times the sum of 26 and 4. And it really helps to draw a tape diagram or a picture to help you think about it. Let's try another one. Let's say I wanted the sum of 8 and 7 doubled. So let's go ahead and let's draw the sum of 8 and 7. There's this, let me move this out of the way so you're not seeing what's underneath. There's the sum of 8 and 7. Sum means addition. Doubled means I want 2 of them. 8 and 7 doubled. So what this really is the 8 and the 7, which gets done first, because parentheses always gets done first in math, regardless of where they happen. And then I want doubled. So there's a couple different ways I could show this. I could show it 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7. That's doubled. I could show it 2 times the sum of 8 plus 7. And then I can also, like we talked about before, 8 plus 7 times 2. These are both the same because of the commutative property. The commutative property applies to addition and multiplication and means that we can switch the order of the factors of the addends without it changing the answer. So now let's take a look at another one, and you'll get a chance to practice some of it now too. So this is 6 times the difference between 60 and 51. So we know that times means multiplication. What operation does difference mean? Difference means subtraction. So I want the difference between 60 and 51, and I want 6 times that. So if I were going to draw a picture, 60, the difference between 60 and 51, and I want 6 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I want 6 of those. So how do you think I would show 6 times the difference between 60 and 51? Well, I would have 60 minus 51 in my parentheses, and I can write 6 times the difference between 60 and 51. Or I could do 60 minus 51 times 6. Okay? Let's take a look at one more word form to numbers. This is the sum of 2 12s and 4 3s. So we know sum is addition, but then here we have 2 12s and 4 3s. Well, 2 12s is really 2 times 12. So then how do you think I would show 4 3s? Well, 4 3s would be 4 times 3. And what operation am I going to use if I want the sum of these two? I'm going to use the plus sign. Now, if I were going to solve this, I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. So 2 times 12 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. And what's 24 plus 12? Well, 24 plus 12 is 36. But know that with an expression which has no equal sign, I don't need to solve it unless I'm explicitly told to. Unless I'm actually asked for what is the value of the expression, then I would figure it out. Okay? So that was word form to number form. Let's go the other way now. Let's go from number form to word form, from standard form to word form. So I see my parentheses here. How would I write this here? Well, I would write the difference between 43 and 13. And then I have to show this 8 times. So I could put 8 times the difference at the front, or I could write the difference between 43 and 13 multiplied by 8. Either one would be correct. So I know this has to be done first. So I have to think about that piece first. Difference is subtraction. So I wrote the difference between 43 and 13. That's the first thing I write. Then I have to show this 8 times the difference between 43 and 13. So I can put it at the beginning, 8 times the difference between 43 and 13. Or I can put it at the end and say the difference between 43 and 13 multiplied by 8. All right, now you try it. Okay, how are we going to show what's in the parentheses, 16 plus 9? How are we going to show that in words? Well, I would write the sum of 16 and 9, and then I have to times it by 4, multiply it by 4. So I could say the sum of 16 and 9 multiplied by 4, or I could say 4 times the sum of 16 and 9. Either one works. All right, one more. Here we go. Well, not one more, a couple more. Let's move on. All right. This is like the problem we did before where we were looking at 2 12s and 4 3s. So how am I going to write if this is 20 3s, what's that? Well, that's 5 3s. And so what would be the proper response, the proper answer for this if I was going to write it in word form? Well, it would be the sum of 23s and 5 3s. Okay. Let's take a look at another one. Okay. So how am I going to write what's in the parentheses? So oh, that's really blurry. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. So I write what's here as the difference between 62 and 12. So then what's my answer to this whole thing if I was writing it in word form? Well, it would be the difference between 62 and 12 multiplied by 11, or because of the commutative property, I could write 11 times the difference between 62 and 12. All right, 2 more problems. We're going to look at these a little bit differently. Let's do some comparing. Let's compare a number form and a word form. So which do you think goes in between? Which is bigger? 9 times 13 or 8 13s? And why? Well, 9 13s is greater than 8 13s because this is really 8 times 13. It helps to put them both in the same form to figure that out. Okay? Last problem of this Ed puzzle. Here we go. So now we're comparing the sum of 10 and 9 doubled, or 2 10s and 2 9s doubled. So let's take this and let's put this into number form, okay? The sum of 10 and 9 doubled. So there's that. It doesn't necessarily, it might help us, it might not, but we can also solve them. We can create the value of this expression to help us figure it out. So this is 19 times 2. Oh, and look, here I have 20 plus 18. So which is greater, 19 times 2 or 20 plus 18? Well, 19 times 2 is equal to 38. 20 plus 18 is equal to 38. So they are equal. There you go, mathematicians. There is using numerical expressions and evaluating them and writing them. Thanks so much.